Alright, hello and welcome to the video, guys. So we're going to be looking at the RHM, but we're actually going to be looking at the T30 as well. I got on my old account again and I decided to pick up the T30. Not really for any particular reason, I just kind of missed playing that tank and I knew that I had it. So for holiday ops and sometimes for like big World of Tanks events, I'll get on my old account and play tanks that I worked up to way back then, but that I haven't got on my newer account. Well, since April of 2020, right? That's when I started this account. And everyone would call it a reroll, but I don't stat pad on this account. I know a lot of people would think that if they don't really know who you are, but I don't attempt to stat pad. That's not the reason I created a new account. The reason I created the new account was so that I had a more simple name for YouTube. And also to see my potential, but I think it's much easier just to have a very simple name for YouTube and to have an account that is strictly based for YouTube, right? Because now I can get on my old account and I can play kind of however I want, and stuff like that. But on this account, it's strictly for YouTube and for you guys, and I save all the tanks I have just in case I get a tank request and stuff like that, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, we're going to be on pairs for both of these games. I'm in the RHM. The sound is a little loud. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's at 21. It's fine. It's probably a little loud on my headset, but yeah, we're going to be in these two vehicles, guys, and I'm going to show you kind of how I go about playing both of them, because if I remember correctly, I had a toxic player both times on my team commenting on the way I was playing or something or other. Actually, I think in this game some dude was trying to tell me that basically that the year my dad was born didn't make him a baby boomer or something like that. There was some comment and I shouldn't have commented on it, but sometimes I do this, and yeah, you guys will see that. But anyway, with this tank, guys, the biggest recommendation I can give you with this vehicle is play it like a glass cannon. That's exactly what it is. You cannot get hit in this vehicle. I've tried to be aggressive in this tank many times. It does not work. You get hit once, you get lit on fire, or people can pen you easily with HE, and sometimes it only takes one shot for you to basically die, because if you get hit hard with HE, and then you get lit on fire or something, that's your game. So we're getting a couple shots into like the Viper, the UDES over here. When this gun works, it's great, but sometimes it can be really trollish and inaccurate and stuff. But it's working right now, and I have 1200 damage. We have 2 kills already in this game, and I'm going to move through this rather quickly. I know some people don't like the fast forwarding, but I want to show you 2 full replays on this map, and hopefully you can see the differences between the two, and you can learn from it, even as I did, because there's every single game I play, I know there's something I could have done better, right? But in a tank like this, again, I just recommend that you always stay way in the back. Here's a shot on the Skoda. Just being careful that I'm not getting spotted here, but you cannot venture out in this vehicle. On the T30, you can kind of do it. See, now this one wasn't even close, right? Did you guys see that shot? I mean, what the heck was that, man? RNG for you. So I think I take a blind here. I actually do, and I hit the Skoda. I wasn't sure if I hit him or not. I couldn't remember. It's been a couple days since these replays, but unlike the T30, I was going to say, guys, you cannot venture out in this vehicle. The T30 actually has good turret armor, although I will say with the T30, the turret turn speed is extremely slow, and you might think that you're good to take like some hold down position further up on the map, but the turret turn speed is so slow that you're gonna have trouble. Like, if your turret is turned this way, people can pen you from over here, so you just have to be really cautious of that in the T30, because it's just so slow, man. Like, it feels like the Hellcat or one of those vehicles with the turret. Like, it's miserably slow, and you're going to pay the price for it if you happen to move your turret just a little too much. So shot to the SU-101, the AMBT we bounced at the beginning, well, for the first shot I should say, and it is what it is. Again, that's RNG. I think we just hit like his gun or something weird, because pretty much the whole tank was green. But here we are, 2600 damage, and you can see if people run in front of your gun, you're going to have a good game in this tank. It's accurate enough to hit most of the shots, but it can be trollish at times. The T30 can also be trollish as well. But everything was working out really well for this game and the one I'm going to show you in the T30. And yeah, we'll kind of fast forward a little bit through this and kind of start getting to the end of this game. I believe I do get a shot into the charioteer here at some point. And yeah, like this game is starting to come to a close. I know I end up going to the mid eventually, but it looks like we're kind of going to win this, but then it starts getting really, really close, man, and I have to start dishing out a lot more damage. So I'm just going to keep going through this, fast forwarding. And yeah, I mean, just to emphasize, guys, if you play this vehicle and you are struggling, you guys know I repeat myself in my videos, but I'm telling you, you cannot go out in this tank. Like, unless you absolutely have to, you want to be in the back line all the time in this vehicle, because as soon as you get spotted, people are going to absolutely spank you with HE, and it's not going to be a fun time. So at this point, you can see we're down 2 tanks now. They have an arty, so I really don't count that. It's more like a 4v3 here. But I'm going to come to the mid, and this is a very, risky kind of play here. The Scorpion is behind me, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to load HE once I realize that he's behind me here. And I actually changed my setup on this tank to run optics instead of the improved rotation mechanism, and it pays off here because I'm able to outspot the Scorpion. So he comes through here eventually. He comes out of this little pocket back here, and he tries to push towards our base. Our Scorpion is also here to kind of support. SMV is here, and I just feel at this point, like, before I take this shot on the Scorpion, let me kind of explain why I moved to the mid, because I was just telling you guys, you can't make aggressive plays in this tank. But I kind of ended that by saying only if you absolutely have to. And in this case, I felt like it's worth the risk for me to put myself in this situation, in this risky situation, to put firepower in the middle of the map where it's going to matter most in this kind of situation. Because you have the AMBT here, you have the BZ here, this is side shots that I can get. You have the Scorpion that's pushing here now, and the charioteer, right? Yeah, the charioteer is over here, and likely this guy might come like through here. He could come down this way as well. He could come like this. You have so many shots from this area right here on the map. You can go this way. If someone's trying to push you, you can go this way. Obviously someone might rush you, but then hopefully the Scorpion or SMV could back me up. And I'm just trying to put myself in a position to get the most amount of shots in a situation like this, because we need to be able to take a lot of shots on these guys. We have to kind of, I don't want to say we have to catch up. We're down by not that much HP, but based on where people are on the map, that's why I put myself in this area. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So here's the Scorpion. I have HE loaded. He's kind of looking for a shot. He sees that it's not really there, and I'm able to aim that perfectly. I just move it to the left a little more right before I fire, and I'm able to hit the Scorpion for like 600 something, and then the Scorpion's able to clean him up. Here is where it becomes risky. The SMV is being very passive here. At this point, I think I'm probably dead, but I think I go dark just before these guys reload or whatever. And I'm going to put the Borisk or whatever this is in front of me, Batchat 12T, something, whatever, in front of me. I'm able to get an HE shot into the charioteer. I kind of missed it there, but no big deal. I'm able to get that into him, and now we're in a good situation, right? And because I put myself in this area, I had the shot of the Scorpion, and I had the shot of the charioteer, who then tried to push up this way. That was like 1,200 damage in the matter of, I don't know, a minute. And it was 2 shots, right? BZ is a 1-shot, and AMBT, I think, has a little more HP. 301, he's a 1-shot to me, but I think he's probably a 1-shot to the SMV, yeah. So here you could see boomers shouldn't have computers. I don't know. This guy's kind of a toxic player. You realize boomers are like 70 years old right now. They aren't playing PC games at all. And this guy's kind of toxic as well. And I just said, my dad is 58. And he's a baby boomer, technically. I said 70? Jesus. And he says that's not a boomer. And in fact, if you guys look up the dates, it's like 1946 to 64. So he would be. But I guess 70 would also be correct, but this is just kind of a stupid conversation. I don't know why I respond to these people sometimes, man, because some of them are just so trollish. Boomers are 58 plus, and that's correct. My dad's 58. Yeah, he's going to be 60 soon. You know, crazy. But I get an HE shot here into the Lorraine, and unfortunately it doesn't pen. And this guy says 1946 to 1963 retard, and it's actually 64. So I'm just going to end with that, guys. Whatever. Like, I don't really care about this conversation anymore. We're going to keep watching the replay. Able to clean up the Lorraine, and now the BZ is a one-shot. We have 4,500 damage here, guys, and at this point, like, I know we're going to win, right? Like, the SMV, the Scorpion, and me all combined, there's no way this guy can take us all on. He probably can, actually, because this thing is so OP, but we're going to win this. And that's pretty much going to be the game, right? So SMV comes over here, he's able to clean him up, and that's the game. 6 kills, 2,600, and actually I was looking at my WN8. 6 kills, and 4,589 damage, guys. So this was crazy, right? I mean, quite a turn of events when I took the mid here and was able to get shots going each direction. But that's it. I mean, there's nothing really more to say about this particular one, just that you have to be really careful with this tank. But if the situation calls for it, you know, you can put your gun where you need to put your gun. But look, 2 shots, one from the SHAR, one from the AMBT, and I'm almost dead. So just keep that in mind. Let's get a look at the end plates, and then I will show you the T30 game quickly. So here we go. This was a mastery, actually, in this vehicle. 4,630 damage was the total. So we did get the blind shot there on the Skoda, right? And we had 6 kills. This was high caliber Top Gun. Beautiful, beautiful performance. Here we are on top, 1289 experience, and we got the 2 badges I just showed you. And let's take a look over here. AMBT had a really good game on their team, and our Skoda played well. But yeah, I mean, geez, man. I mean, 4,630 damage for Paris. Like, I'm pretty happy with that, and that's why I wanted to feature this one, and also the T30 one. But it just happened to be on Paris as well. So we actually got 14K for this because of the Holiday Ops bonus. I now have this at 10, and this is 50%. But yeah, this is why I'd like to, you know, kind of stack up the vehicles I want to play during Holiday Ops, because you can play, if you have premium, you could play these tanks, like any standard tank that isn't a premium. And if you're running premium and you have this at like 50%, you like won't even lose credits, man. If you shoot gold rounds the whole time, you basically will almost break even. And then if you run the credit reserve, you'll actually make coin playing your standard tanks, right? So that's it for this one. You can see how I have this thing set up. I actually sold it because I just recently 2-marked this thing and I had enough with it. I moved on to the tier 9 and I sold this tank. So hopefully no one wants to see any more games. But this is the way I had it set up, guys. And, you know, just a lot of concealment, situational awareness, and you know, these 2 things for dispersion, snapshot and smooth ride. And yeah, I had this down to 0.29 dispersion, so 3,200 DPM. This thing is a DPM monster, man, but sometimes the gun just trolls the crap out of me, and I just can't stand it, man. But yeah, that's it. I pretty much ended playing this vehicle with something like this, 54% win rate. I think it took me like 130 battles to 2-mark this thing, and I think it was just under 90. I think it was like 1,911 damage or something like that I averaged over all those games. So that's it for that game, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at this T30 replay, and I think you'll enjoy this. I got one more replay after that I'm going to show in a separate video with even 90. It was a pretty wild game. But let's get into the T30 replay. I will show you this one, and I don't know if I've ever featured this tank on the channel because this was on my old account. So this will be new, and then what I'm going to do after this is actually not tonight because it's really late, man. But I'm going to play I'm going to go on my old account again, and I'm going to play a battle in the Super Hellcat, and I'm going to play a battle in the VK28 01-105. That like derpy light tank, I think that's tier 6, because we had recommendations for both those vehicles, and I actually have both those vehicles on my old account. So we're going to do that, and we'll do sessions, not just one battle. I'll probably do sessions with both of them. and then maybe I'll play them a little more, and if I have any good games, then I will go ahead and post them up. So here we are on my old account. You can tell by my 1100 WN8. Still not terrible if you ask me, but you know, like I don't play on this account anymore, man. So I knew nothing when I was playing on this account. So here we are, and we're gonna sit right here. This is a very powerful position for any TDs, like I showed you guys before. Usually what you want to try and do is knock these trees, but I just didn't get around to really doing that. It's tough, man. Like in a tier 9-10 game, like if you poke out here and you get spotted or something, yeah, you don't want to do that. So here we go. I kind of missed this shot. I shoot the building by accident, actually. Like I moved just a little too far to the right, and it was hard to see because of the tree, but I missed a shot on the tortoise there. You know, oh well, boo-hoo, life goes on, and is what it is. But you're gonna see here, like, watch this shot on the FV. Watch how trollish this gun is. Like, what does that even bounce on, man? I need to know, like, where this bounced. But we didn't pen him. The APs are 276 millimeters a pen, and the APCRs are 320. So I go ahead and load the APCRs. I'm getting wrecked here by the Badger or whatever, and yeah, this is why it's good to knock down this tree. But I will tell you that the T30 has like no concealment. You got to be really careful about the T30 because the concealment is really, really bad, even if you have full concealment on your crew. It's such a big tank. Same body as the T29 and T34 and those American heavies. So it's just a really fat, big tank with a huge turret, and you can't hide this thing at all, right? So you just have to keep that in mind. Be really, really careful with this thing. But what helps this vehicle is the turret armor. It's got like that 270 something turret armor, and from a distance it's very hard to pen this thing if you're hold down. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm just trying to stay hidden enough so I can get a shot into this Badger. And another thing to note with this tank, you know, it's a tier 9, so it's one more tier up from the RHM, but it hits hard, man. It hits for that 750, which, you know, a lot of those big guns do on the TDs when you start moving later, higher up in the tier later on in the tech trees, right? So trying to get a shot into the Badger, it's not so simple, man. You know, wargaming, making these crazy tanks that can be hold down, and I'm trying desperately to get a shot into this guy's lower plate, but it's just not going through, man. So again, gonna try and take another shot, and that one doesn't go through either. Give me 1 second just to lock the frame rate on here, because for whatever reason, turn vertical sync on. For whatever reason, I just noticed that my like GPU thing didn't come up. So I guess something happened there when I started my computer. But I don't want it running 200 plus frames. Those frames are just being wasted because I only have a 144 monitor. So but yeah, I'm sitting here, guys, and 283 comes around, and I'm just waiting for somebody to like get a nasty shot into, right? 703, like when you hit people with this tank, it's very, very satisfying because it's 750 in the face, right? So we finally get our first shot there, and the K91 is here. I remember this guy getting really mad at me because I didn't support him. You'll see here, he was like, dude, WTF, like, thanks a lot. Thanks, T30. Like, I was supposed to help this guy, you know? Like, I'm like, dude, like, I just shot going this way, and I'm facing the other direction. Like, you must know the T30 has, like, a 16-second reload. But, you know, like, you know, what can I do, man? You know, the guy complains, and, like, I get it, you're the only one out there. But even then, like, if I go to poke out here and I take a shot at this guy, too, like, how open does that leave me to getting whacked, right? You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes people that complain just really have to think about what they're complaining about. Like, it totally makes sense if you're talking to a trash player that is just camping, or they're like AFK, but like, you have to be realistic about it, you know? So much better for me to kind of hang around here and wait for the K91 to make that mistake, and then I'm able to you know, take that shot into him, and you know, there we go. So a shot into the WT Panzer as he's crossing, and I'm waiting to see, because I can't quite remember if I go mid here, but let's find out. Oh, I do remember what I do now. So check this out, guys. We're able to get the shot to the K91. We're able to get the shot to the WT Panzer crossing. Now, over here, if you're looking at the map, right, you will see that we've clearly lost the south side of this map. There's one really, really good position you can take when you are defending this particular side of the map. If you're in a hold down tank, you can sit right here. This is a really effective position depending on how high your tank is. Like mine is, if it were a little shorter, it will work better, but it works good enough, right? Because this thing is a cannon, so you only need to take that one shot and then back down. But you can sit in this corner because of the way the terrain works. Like if you look at the terrain, you can see, like, and if you have a thinner tank, you might be able to get in here and stuff. Like I said, this tank is huge, but check this out. You can get like right here, and then I have this shot on the 60 TP. I'm going to take it 800, and then I can back down and I can wait. So in this situation, my 15-second reload doesn't mean anything, is what I'm trying to explain, right? Like I take the one shot and then I back down and I'm good until 15 seconds later when I can poke back up and take another shot. And when I have 750 alpha, you know, that's even, I know the 60 TP hits really hard, but even if he has 750, that's an even trade. I think it's more like, what, 500 or 600, right, that the 60 TP has? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know heavies very well, guys, but I'm willing to take the risk even if it's even, right? Even if he hits for 750, because you know, like, why not? Like, this guy is basically almost a one-shot to me at this point. I'm going to take that shot. And look, I'm able to clean him up with a high roll, and that's why this tank is an absolute monster when you can get into a position like this. So, STRVK, let's take a look at what this guy said, man. He's driving me nuts. I said, stop crying, dude. Gorilla, please stop. Dude, just stop. Start doing something, puss. STFU, crying little bitches. This is what the 60TP said. And then, is that your man or is she your woman, T30? Like, holy crap, man. I just say, I don't know, you know, what the F he is, a crybaby. I can say what I want on this account, right, guys? I can get away with that. Because I'm not a baboon on this account. But don't be toxic, right? Just don't be toxic. It's better to just not say anything at all, I'm telling you guys, because you say one thing and you provoke these people. Like, people on World of Tanks, man, are very toxic. You say one thing and they will just go off in the chat. Like this gorilla, man, he just would not stop, you know. Don't like dying when a puss is hiding behind me doing nothing. So I finally say to him, like, seriously, I have a 17-second reload and I'm facing the other direction. And the T30 is very slow, right? So... And then he says, this is why we're losing now. And I said, just learn to retreat, please. You know, just learn to retreat, man. That's all I'm asking. So STRVK is here. He's going to push into me now. Now watch what I do. I hit this guy for 815. But watch this. See how I'm already turning? And I told you guys the T30 is really slow. So watch how I'm already turning the tank's body and turning the turret so that I can get my freaking turret around in time before this guy hits me again. I'm able to turn completely around and clean him up. So now we have 4,969 damage, and apparently, according to the Gorilla 15, this is why we're losing, right? I got, you know, a news flash for that dude. I'm carrying the game, man. So just let me do what I need to do and we'll win. And, you know, I just end with, okay, like, this is what you gotta do with these people, man. Just let them say what they want to say, and that's it, guys, right? So we end up doing 5k damage, 2 kills, and I don't see how this would have lost us the game, but maybe some people feel that way. Maybe some of you would agree with the gorilla and that I should have been supporting him instead. But I did what I did, and I think I played a pretty vital role in the game. We spammed a lot of APCRs, guys. And all right, let's end with the with all the toxicness, right? Because it's just driving me nuts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the game, and don't mind me reading the chat. But sometimes it just amuses me, man. Like, I just have to read it. So here we go, guys. 4,969 damage. There was nothing blind, and you know, we got 2 kills here. No badges or anything like that. This was a first class. The T30 hits so hard that 5k damage still isn't going to be quite enough for the mastery. We did get 1,166 experience though, and we were top by damage, top by experience, and Yeah, I don't think anything more to note there. We lost 41K here, but you know, I have a lot of credits on this account because I had so much, so many like modules and shells that I wasn't using and stuff like that that I just sold a lot of stuff. These are like literally all my tanks on this account. I have the T95, the T49, the T29, T30 Super Hellcat, and then we have this. This is the 105 that I'll play. The VK100, the Grilla, and then I got this. But I also, I didn't, when I do go back on this account, I have to reopen my award for years of service because I think it's like 6 or something like that years of service. So we'll open that up. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed these 2 replays. I hope you learned a thing on Paris. I hope you don't mind me reading the toxic chat. But do not, just don't even type anything to these people. Don't be like me, even like just let it go, man. Like these people are really petty, and the World of Tanks chat can be really toxic, and I would highly recommend that you guys just don't even say anything in the chat if you're not sure. It's simple, you know, if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything at all, man. It just makes the community even worse, right? So don't do that. But also, I run this thing with the aim, improved aiming, the rammer vents, and I ran vent purge just to try and get the dispersion down. It's at 0.31. I don't know if I have much in the configuration of this vehicle, but yeah, crew was pretty standard. I just dumped like 1 crew book basically, and ran a lot of concealment and you know, smooth ride and that kind of stuff, snapshot, recon, etc., etc. And then I did concealment, intuition, and then intuition, concealment. So I was getting some more concealment and some more intuition. You know, I would recommend doing this actually. Like, do 1 full concealment and then like half an intuition, and then a full intuition and a half a concealment. So you're getting a little bit of both. You know what I mean? But on this tank, intuition is kind of important because the reload is so long, right? So if you wanted to switch over to like an HE shell, you know, it's a lot easier with intuition. So yeah, I actually played 226 battles in this vehicle. Of course, my average was not great because I sucked when I was on this account. But yeah, my favorite tank of all time though was on this account was the T95, man. Like I played this vehicle a lot, 812 battles, and I actually have only played this tank since I've had my new account, right? Like I think I played this game maybe no longer than a year ago. So it'll be fun to play this, and we'll actually get a like a good score, and you can see like what I actually average in the tank for real, right? Basically, like not from 5 years ago or whenever the heck I played it. So there we go, guys. I think this video is long enough. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye bye now.